Everybody, this is Cerice from Pangaea. I'm here with our little mare Bessa. I'm going to go over today how to wrap a hoof properly. Bessa has a little bit of an infection in her hoof, and she's slated to have surgery for it next month. But she has a hole where she's been draining pus out of, and we want to keep it clean and keep it covered. We took off her wrap already, and the hoof should be pretty clean. I'm going to take a look, and then I'm going to show you how to wrap a hoof, which is always a good thing to be able to do in case you have a horse that has an abscess or some sort of infection in their hoof, or if maybe the horse stepped on a nail and needs to be treated. If that ever does happen, however, make sure that if you find the horse with the hoof, with a nail in a hoof, don't take it out. Call the vet right away. Leave the nail in if you can, because the vet would need to x-ray it to see if it's damaging any structure inside the hoof. On that note, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So you can see here that Bessa has a little bit of a contracted hoof, and right here is the drainage hole where the infection is coming out of. I'm going to grab a hoof pick real quick and clean this up, but the area where the hole is pretty clean, and then I'm just going to go ahead and wrap it up so that it doesn't get dirty in her stall before we put her back. I just want to make sure that I get as much of the debris out of here before I cover it up. In case there's any moisture that gets in there, I don't want to have it spread to the hole. Just kind of cover that up so I don't get anything goopy in there. Oh, Bessa. Alright. I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to take her hoof and I'm going to put it in between my legs like a farrier would do, so I have both hands free. And then we use diapers that generally fit the size of the horse. We got some Mickey Mouse here. We fit the horse's hoof with the diaper. This provides some padding. It also helps to pull away any pus that may drain out from the weight in her hoof. She's not draining anything now, which makes me really happy. And you can see here the lamina is stretched in this hoof, and what she has is a pedal bone infection, just the tiniest little infection on the tip of her pedal bone, and so we're going to have surgery done on her hoof to debride that and hopefully clean up the bone and generate some new healthy bone tissue, and maybe we'll go over that once that happens and show you the whole process of how it's cared for. So anyway, I take the diaper, I make sure that the tabs that close it are up towards the ball of her hoof so that I can pull this around the front and secure it that way. And so I make sure that it's up nice and high on the ball of the hoof here so that it kind of helps pull it tight around the hoof. And then I hold it with my thumb and pull it tight, and then hold it on the other side with my fingers here. And then I make sure that right in here there's some elastic, which on a baby would kind of go around their legs. I make sure that comes over the hoof, which helps hold it on too. And then I just take the tabs that close it, pull them nice and tight. You're not going to over tighten with a diaper. And make sure that it's closed over pretty well. I make sure that the sides come over the hoof pretty well. And then I have some vet wrap here, and I'm not too worried about the direction of the circulation on the hoof. If you were wrapping a leg, you would start kind of here from the inside, go around the front and to the back. I generally tend to start that way just because it's habit and I want to keep that habit. But what I do is I do a pass here, and then I try and come up a little higher towards the ball of the hoof, and then down around the toe. I'll do another pass that way, and then I cross over it around the front, not too tight, especially up tight top where the coronary band is, because right there I don't want to cut off any circulation. I want to be really careful about that. I make sure to get all of her feathers out of the way. Come across the side of the ball of the hoof, down around the toe. I do another wrap like here, up around the top, back down around the ball of the toe. The ball of the heel and the toe. Sam, can you grab me the scissors that are over there? And then generally I try and finish the vet wrap off on the bottom of the hoof, so that the weight of the horse kind of helps make sure that it stays nice and sealed. Now beforehand, I made a nice pad out of duct tape, made it pretty thick, and I'm going to put that on the sole of the hoof.
Oh, that's right.
I usually keep it right where I can reach it. And so this is the thickest part right here. I try and line that up so that it definitely hits the toe, because that's where you're going to get the most wear and tear on the diaper. And then I just wrap it around the hoof like so. Now I'm going to let her put her foot back down. Now, Bess is a really good, quiet horse. She doesn't tend to fidget too much, and she's kind of used to this treatment already. If you're with a horse that you're not sure of, I would have somebody go on the other side and hold that hoof, the other hoof up, so that she can't step on you or pick the hoof up. I take some more duct tape, and I wrap around the back of the ball of the hoof, trying to make sure I cover over the ends of the duct tape pad. So this is going to really make sure that the boot that I'm making stays on pretty well. And I just want to cover over all of the edges from the pad and make sure that it's nice and well sealed on all sides. And try not to catch any hair in there, because I don't want it to pull as she walks and make it uncomfortable for her. I want her to be fairly content that she's got this thing on. And then, because horses are really good at getting out of things that they're supposed to stay in, I always make sure to take some tape and crisscross it from the ball of the heel on the inside, come across the back of the heel, and not too tight. I don't want to cut off any circulation, but I wrap it around the front of the hoof so that it comes up over the ball of the hoof on either side and around. That kind of helps strap it on almost. Bess is kind of standing on top of herself, so I'm going to move her foot back so where I can work with it, and then do the other side. And then come around. And then sometimes if I'm worried that this part in the front where the duct tape crosses isn't sealed good enough, I'll just stick one more little piece on for good measure in case they're going to get turned out in a nice dry area, so that it doesn't kind of flop off if they move around a lot. And then I always make sure to get underneath the diaper and check and make sure that it's not cutting off any circulation. This is pretty good. I can get my finger down in there all the way down to the coronary band, so I know that there's not going to be any circulation cut off. If I did feel like it was going to cut off circulation, rather than taking it off and redoing the whole thing, I would just cut a little slit in the front, being really careful about not cutting the horse, and peel that back and secure it with some more duct tape. So, as they say, duct tape can fix anything, including a horse's hoof, at least temporarily. That's about it. Thanks for watching, and hopefully you won't ever have to do this, but if you do, then you can refer back to this video and kind of get a quick overview on how to get a nice boot wrap on. Thanks so much. Bye.